bullets so dreams die.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is nastyaswan, and today I am with my first guest on the channel, my beautiful friend Abigail, who also lives in New York. She's only 18 years old, but she's extremely successful, beautiful, smart, and I want you guys to learn more about Abby. Abby, please tell about yourself a little bit.
Hi guys, I'm so happy that you're having me here. I'm so excited. I know Nastya from social media. We both followed each other, we're mutuals. I would see her on my For You page all the time, and she was just so inspiring, and I felt like we have a lot in common, like passion wise and also just like mentality wise. And I feel like I learned a lot through the modeling industry from you, and also just like mental health, and I mean with eating, even like all sorts of things like that. And then you reached out to me about my faith, and I think that was like kind of how our friendship began, because it showed like how we can really communicate with those like harder, deep subjects, and not a lot of people can do that. So I have a lot of respect for you, because it's hard to have those deep conversations, but I feel like we have them.
I've learned so much from you too, even though like I just have this natural feeling like you're my baby sister.
Yeah.
Like everything that Abby is going through, I literally went through. That's why I feel such deep connection to her story. Let's not waste time, and I'm just gonna start asking you questions so people can learn more about you and your vision.
I think that's perfect.
So you're alone in New York City and you're 18 years old. What is your experience like? So if people, girls who want to move to New York as well and pursue a modeling career, because you're signed with one of the biggest agencies in the world, what it's like, how do you feel being here in New York at 18 alone? What are the struggles? Please tell me everything.
Well, I feel like I told you this, like I grew up in a small town, and I think I had to definitely grow up kind of fast, because I started modeling when I was about 14. I started traveling independently when I was 15, so I went to Spain for a month, I did Italy for a month, I did London for a month. I feel like doing that before coming to New York really prepared me for like what this industry is like and what the world is like, because I had to experience that really young. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I feel like I'm already a little bit more mature for my age, which I'm so grateful for, to like have my parents and have that household. But I think the biggest thing is just like staying myself, like having to realize everybody is trying to become a bigger person. Everyone's trying to become this big thing. It's like, what makes you happy in the end, and who are you trying to please? Like in the end, who are you trying to please yourself? Are you trying to please other people? Like for me, it was, I need to please God. Like I need to go back to my roots and find my faith, because this industry is hard, and traveling is hard, and living in New York and living away from your family at a young age is so difficult. Like social media and what you see me posting, it's gonna look easy. It's gonna look like she's living a lavish life. She's having so much fun. She's meeting all these people. She's going on all these fun dinners. No, like the reality is I go home and I'm alone in my apartment, and I have to deal with all like stuff by myself. And so I think along the way, carrying God through that with me has been my biggest positivity, and that's what's carried me through this this life. But I think you're gonna meet people, and you're going to experience things that a lot of people don't experience. You're gonna go back to your hometown, and no one's gonna understand what you've been through and what you've seen. So I think it's just really important that you remember everyone's perspective. Everybody's living today their first day, right? I mean, everybody is experiencing this world in a different way. So you just have to be understanding of people and understanding of yourself, and give yourself a break. Like it's okay to not be okay. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that today. Like you see everything on social media, and everything is so perfect, and everybody is trying to be the best and having all these perfect like health tips and working out every single day and making so much money and meeting all these cool people. Like that's not the reality.
Not real life.
No, it's not real life. And I think that's just so important to remember. I mean, you talk about this all the time on your social media as well, and I think that it's so easy to talk about it, like we're talking about it right now, but then you're gonna go to our social media like, but they are like living this cool life. But like there has to be a higher power. You can't just be here alone. You can't be living for what other people want. And I mean, I do it all the time. I'll scroll on my social media and it's like, oh my gosh, like there's still more that I want. Like no, it's okay. Like you need to start being content with who you are as a person and what you have. And I think that's what's really going to make you grow, because once you're already content with what you have, it's like, okay, then I'm okay. Then I can just keep working. Like I can keep working on myself and what makes me happy, instead of like trying to catch up to everybody and trying to catch up to who you aren't like as a person.
you're in a very competitive industry, like surrounded by so many beautiful females, and you're such a gorgeous girl. Like, how do you deal with jealousy, and how do you not let it affect you?
I think my main thing about jealousy is everybody is different no matter what. There's gonna be blondes, blue-eyed girls that are 5'10" and look very similar to me, but they're completely different from me. I think that in the end, it's all about like your personality and what do you bring to the table. And without judging other girls and other women, you have to remember you bring something completely different that they're gonna bring. Like, it's never gonna be the same. And if you are gonna like sit on that and think about like, oh, we look the same, and or I don't look like her, or I'm not as skinny as her, or I don't have a big butt, or like anything like that, it's like that's a waste of energy.
Exactly.
It's a waste of space in my mind personally, and I don't have the time. Like, I know you definitely don't have the time. Like, you're so good at that, I feel like. And it's just something that's so easy to like sit on and think about for so long, when in the end, it's like God made everybody different. I'm bringing it back to God. Sorry. Not sorry. I feel like God made everybody completely different, and it's just like no matter what, everyone is different. Even twins that are born twins or triplets, like they're different in their own way. This looks so good.
She just brought this insane chocolate banana bread. Wherever the hell you found it, it looks so good.
Oh my gosh.
This is delicious. You cannot leave it in my house.
I'm gonna give you some of it. I can't have all of this.
Yeah, we share it. We share it.
Anyways, I just think that everyone is doing something different with their lives. Everybody is their own person in their own way. I mean, it's so easy. I still get jealous. I still look at girls and I'm like, dang, like I wish I had that, or I wish I was that. I remind myself of who I am and who I know that I am, and all the accomplishments that I've made with what I've been given as well. Like, I was born in a different town than this girl was. I was raised a completely different way than this girl was. Maybe this girl was brought up in a wealthier family. Maybe this girl like traveled like way younger than I had. Like, everyone's experiences are different, and that's why they are the way that they are.
What's the hardest thing in the modeling industry that you would say in 2024? Because modeling industry also changes all the time, every year. The trends, the people, the body shapes, like deep inside, every single girl wants to be a model. So what's the hardest thing that you would say there is?
I think the hardest thing is remembering that you are alone, but you're your own boss. Like, you work for an agency, you work for clients, but you're still your own boss. Like, you have to take yourself into consideration. People are gonna tell you, you're gonna walk into a casting, right? Like, you're gonna walk into a casting, they're gonna look at you like just what you said today, like you're nothing. They're gonna look at you like you are literally nothing, and you're like, oh, you can either walk out of there like, wow, okay, I really feel like I am nothing. Like, wow, that sucked and that really hurt my ego. Or you could walk out like, oh, well, why do I, like, on to the next thing, you know? Why are we dwelling on these, like, little things? It's so much easier to just be like, all right, the day goes on. What's next? Like, what's the next thing I can do? And that's so hard. Like, it took me a long time to get there. Like, people have said no to me. I've been rejected. Agencies have told me things that I don't want to hear, but it's just like, okay, you take everything with a grain of salt. Remember that you're still your own boss. Like, yes, they're working for you, you're working for them, but in the end, it's like, you have to think about yourself.
It's your life. Yeah.
It's your life. And so I think that was the hardest thing for me, is just to put myself first.
2 years ago, I'm not lying to you, I was sitting in my bed and I was like, one day I will have my own show, I will have my own podcast, and this is what I'm going to be doing.
Like, you spoke it into existence.
You know when you get frustrated that something doesn't work out, and like something doesn't work, and you think that, oh, God doesn't listen to you, or like, I just think that we as humans, we have no patience. We get frustrated because we don't get it right away. Like, even take weight loss as an example, right?
Gosh,
like, girls get so mad and they give up right away because after 2 weeks they don't see the results, but the results are there. It's working.
Yeah.
You just need to be a little bit more patient.
You have to just keep going. Yeah.
But now when I'm sitting here with you, and that is my first podcast with a guest, I'm like, holy shit, this is actually happening.
Yeah.
So like, I did it so naturally, and I wanted to do it for so long, but it's the right time, the right moment.
Isn't that so crazy to look back on, and you're just like, I was hoping for this so badly, and now it's here. Like, because time flies by and we don't even realize, and in the moment we're like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever, like, I'm so impatient, and then it just like.
Another thing that I think about a lot is that people have beautiful ideas, insane ideas, very successful ideas in their head. All you need to do is that action.
Yep.
Without an action, any information, you can go to Harvard, you can study the books, you can read so much. If you don't make that action, what's the point of the knowledge?
Of course.
Right? The thing that I'm proud of the most is that since I was like a teenager, 14, 15 years old, I started my social media, and I did videos on my YouTube, my first YouTube channel. I did content. That's the most important thing.
Right.
Without that doing part, there wouldn't be any results.
I think that's what I honestly respect the most about you, is the way that you how people are like, she's all talk, she'll talk about everything that she's ever done, and no, you put your words into action every single time you say something, it's happened, right? And you say things now that you're like, I hope I have this goal, knowing you and what you've already accomplished, you will put that into existence, and I just think that's so cool. It's very, very admirable. How do you not get scared? You're putting your words into action. You're doing all the you have a goal, you set that goal and you do it, and the whole thing with YouTube, and you started these videos and then people from back home, or people would make fun of you, oh, she's starting these cringy YouTube videos, or cringy get ready with me's. Look where you are now. But when you were at that moment, how did you keep going? How did you get over those fears and not care what people think? Because you're really good about that. Even walking in public, to lunch with you, I remember we walked in and you just walked straight in. Me, I'd be wait for someone to sit me. No, you walked in. I was like, I love her. I got so excited. I was like, woo. And then you did not care. I could see it. That's just the person how did you get there? How did you block out the fear?
Well, the whole main character thing is the way I try to live my life. But honestly, since I started my YouTube channel, I was bullied at school, and I remember those guys that I actually liked. They were in high school, and I was this little kid in 5th grade running with my camera and trying to record weird videos, and they would literally come up to me on in between classes, and they'd be like, oh my god, this is our celebrity, can I take a picture with you? Oh my god. And of course, it's a joke, of course, to touch me. But I was like, yeah, of course you can take a picture with me. For some reason, I knew, my little 13 years old brain knew that I would get somewhere. I knew that I will not give up. For some reason, thank God, I literally...
That's a rare thing, though. A lot of girls don't have that.
It did not affect me because my desire to do that and to develop a skill of blogging and YouTube was so much bigger than all these people. For some reason, I really didn't care. And what truly helped me and helps me till today is that my fear to not try and not succeed is so much bigger than the fear of trying.
Okay.
My fear of not succeeding and not trying is so much bigger than trying. So I'd rather fail. I'd rather try it. I'd rather test this idea. But what if I get to 80 or 90 years old and I never try? What if I would, because I look at this is what really wakes me up every single day. I look at my parents. They live so far away. They live 13, 15 hours away from me. And I'm I see them once or twice a year. And when I look at them, I see that they're aging. And there's no way back. It's gonna happen to me too. I'm 23 now. I shouldn't worry about it. I shouldn't worry about losing collagen and stuff. But gosh, it's really happening.
Yeah.
It's there's no way back. All the time that you that you have right now, you only have it one time.
Yeah.
I hate the idea, of waking up on Monday and starting it over. There's no such thing as starting is over. No. Every day, you live today one time, you live tomorrow one time. It's like a little life. From the moment you wake up to the nighttime, this is a little life. And you get to choose what you do, how to spread your energy, and the biggest thing that you should work on, not your goals, not your career, is your mental health and how quiet is your mind throughout the day. Because I've learned that from one of my mentors, and she said once, the more quiet your mind is, the more actually productive you are. Not the more tasks you do throughout the day, not the more goals you set throughout the day, but the more quiet you are inside, the more productive you become.
Okay.
Because you're just you're at peace.
Yeah.
You know how to focus.
Once again, you're content with your life, but you're still but that gives you peace. The content gives you peace. You love who you are today. You love what you've accomplished and what you've done. and then that's what boosts your motivation. That's what's like, okay, then this is great. Like I'm already happy, so why not do more? Why not fail? Like, do you know what I mean? Because if I fail, I still have this. I still have Alaska. I'm still living in New York. I still have friends, and I still have like this platform. Do you know what I mean? So like, why not fail? Why not try new things?
What are your tools on a daily basis to help you ground yourself and not let all this outside noise affect you? What are your little things that you use?
I think my biggest thing that I've started about a year ago was journaling. Like, journaling to me a couple years ago sounded so cheesy. I was like, journaling, like that sounds like poems, that sounds cringy. And I started doing it and I was like, hold up. I was writing so much. I was writing paragraphs. Like, I read back at my journal and I was like, wow, that was actually good. Like, you so I love it. I think that journaling has really helped me. I get all of my thoughts out, and because I'm so faithful and I love to talk to God, I'll just be like, dear God, and I'll just write everything out. Wow. I'll talk to him like he's my friend. Like, this is how my day's going. I don't know why it's going like this. I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but like, help me through this. Help me through this season. Help me through this time. I want to be more positive. Like, I just need a light right now. I'm feeling darkness and I need that. Like, I need that help. So like, writing all of that out on paper, I think it's really helped me. Or even like, you talked about like vlogging, just like in a camera, I'll even if I don't post it in a camera, like I'll just talk to myself and be like, this is what I'm going through. I don't know why I feel like this. Like, here's how I'm gonna overcome it. This is how I'm feeling. I don't really like this person right now. I don't really like this subject right now. Like, I'm going through something, and I'll save it to my eyes only. Like, I'll hide it in my camera roll. 2 weeks later, I'll go back to those videos and be like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I got over it. Like, everything works out in the end, and I think it's so cool to have a journal or to journal on your phone and see those changes over time. So I think that's like my biggest thing.
Okay, well, I want to ask you a question now.
Okay.
It's my turn.
Like, with who you are as a person and what I've learned from just like your past experiences, and obviously like you've touched on like relationships and like not needing a man, like not caring anymore, like they need to send me a car and they need to take me to a nice restaurant. Like, that's how it should be. Of course, like I love it. I love that. But I think a lot of girls like struggle with that, and when they see a guy and they get attached to a guy and they're like like straight love eyes, right? Like, that's all they think about is the guy, and they stop thinking about themselves. How do you like block that out and think, no, wait a second, we need to make sure I'm putting myself first. If like these are my standards, there's no going behind my standards. Like, how did you get that mentality? How do you keep that? Like,
well, you're much younger than I am, and when I was your age, I was literally exactly what you're describing. When you look at social media, you only see a point B, you don't see a point A, right?
Yeah.
And what I'm sharing right now is already things that I've been through, and my views on relationships and men is already a product of what's been in the past. And I also share on my social media, I shared my journey. I shared that men cheated on me, how they treated me, how hard it was. But I feel like I went through pretty like crazy relationships, and what truly helped me at the end of the day to transform my mindset and my relationships towards men is realizing that you are responsible for your feelings and for your actions and for everything that happened to you. So it was your choice. I mean, it was my choice to be in that relationship. It was my choice to date that man, but it was not my fault that this person did this or that to me. But now it is my responsibility to heal myself. So like, whenever you get out of a relationship, or you had some toxic relationships or toxic experiences, you've dated narcissists or people who, God forbid, like yelled at you or did something to you, well, you can get out of a relationship and like still blame them. It's him, he did that to me, he's responsible for that. But actually, no, life becomes so much easier when you take that responsibility back to yourself and you're like, okay, shit happened, okay, my heart is broken. How do I heal myself now? This person's gone. After my last relationship where a guy cheated on me, the person who I really love, I am single now for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I'm not gonna lie, it took me a year to literally get my shit together. And I gained 17, 18 pounds over like first 2 months because I was just eating my feelings out. I felt disgusting. My self-esteem was destroyed. But at the end of the day, everything that happened to you, it's the best thing that can happen to you. So this is how it works in life. Anything. This is literally like a magic formula. First, you're so angry. You hate the person, the situation, your life. Then you move to acceptance. you accept it, then you move to gratitude.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's how you know that the lesson is learned. When you feel grateful for that person, that he did that he let you go, that he even cheated on you, like thank God, because it could be worse. You know, I could marry the person.
I could have married him and he didn't
have kids with that
Everything
person.
happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
So
I think that was like a really good point. Like realizing you can only take things into your own hands and to just like stop with the victim mentality and be like, you know what? I chose this guy and this ended up in this way. All right, let's go. Let's move past it. Let's figure out how I can help myself, because in the end, all you have is yourself.
And one more thing, I wouldn't be where I am right now without being single for that period of time. People who jump from relationship to relationship just to heal themselves, that's not how you heal.
No.
You heal in solitude. You heal alone. You heal with God.
Of course.
You heal by yourself, because that's when you grow.
Yeah.
So like right now, I literally look at my ex and I'll be like, that's not even the type of guy that I would fall in love with. I literally feel like I'm a different person right now. Tell me, like, how would you know in life what you like and what you don't like if you don't try it?
If you don't do it by yourself.
Exactly.
If you don't go through these challenges by yourself, and you have to have that singleness season of like being by yourself and figuring out who you are and like not relying on someone. I mean, I think that it's really easy to fall for a guy. I think it's so easy to fall for a guy and to catch feelings for someone and then put all your eggs in that basket and think, okay, now this person, now I rely on this person, now I need to text this person, now I need to, like, how is he doing? Wait, how am I doing? Like, and then all my problems are shared with this person. Like, do you know what I mean? You have to learn how to do all of that with no one's help but your own. And that's where maturity comes as well.
Exactly. But one more thing, assholes are the best thing that will happen to you, because then you will have immune system, 1, and 2, you will know who not to date. Since the beginning, if when I was like 18, 19, if I would just straight away date a super nice guy, like who would love me and take care of me, I wouldn't appreciate him, because for me that would be my like standard, right? But I've dated some guys that like, I've dated guys who literally introduced me to like all this assholehood, and now I know
assholehood.
I literally my brain now only sees nice guys, because that's how I want to be treated, that's how I want to be appreciated, that's how I want to live my life.
And you know what to look for. And I think like a strong message for anyone who's maybe going through this, like maybe you just got cheated on, or maybe you're dating a horrible person, it gets better. Like the relationship will end, I hope it'll end, and then it gets better. Like it's only up from there. That was a great, like, take it as a positive thing. That was a great learning experience. Like God just brought that into my life for me, for that to happen, for my heart to be broken, for things to get messed up. And then I had to figure out how to learn from that, and I had to figure out how to like build my mental state alone. Like in the end, it's a positive thing, no?
Yeah.
Like,
and so many people cannot get out of a toxic relationship, which I totally understand. I would never say like, oh, it's your responsibility, like you're letting him do that. When you are in the relationship, it is so hard.
It's so much different.
Because you're blind.
Of course.
You're blind by... I cannot call it love, because love is not pain. Love is not abuse. Love is not what you think love is when you're in that kind of relationship. But only when you get out of a relationship, only after you hurt and you are on your way to healing, you will start realizing like, oh my God, I could have finished that earlier. Oh my God, why was I so dumb? The biggest thing that you have to pay attention to is when your closest people, your family, your parents are telling you like, this is not the right guy for you. There's something wrong there. And not when they're just not reasonable, when they like literally show you like, look what he did, look what he's doing, look how he's treating you. And you're like, no, he didn't want to. No, everything's fine. Like those people don't want to hurt you. Like they want to protect you. They want the best for you, right?
Of course.
So even when my mom and my dad, you know, now I ask them like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you look up for me? They're like, listen, when you were in that relationship or this relationship or with that girlfriend you had this situation, they're like, how would we tell you? Like if we would tell you that you're doing something wrong, you literally would hate us. Like you would, you know, argue with us and we would lose relationship with you. So oh, you're crying?
no, but it's like, I'm relating.
Yeah.
It's like hitting, it's true. It's like you have to listen to the people that love you first.
The people that like would drop anything for you. Those are the people you need to listen to. I mean, but at the same time, like, in the end, you're gonna make your own decisions, and then you're gonna learn from it, you know. And so in the end, it's a good thing. It's just whether or not you're gonna listen to other people, you're gonna listen to your heart. Sometimes you have to listen to your heart. You have to go through those trials, and you have to go through those breakups, and you have to go through the cheating stuff, and it sucks so bad, and it's so painful, like seriously. But you have to do that. I feel like I can always be doing more. Like there's always more I could be doing, and sometimes that stresses me out. So how do you get past that pressure and that stress? Where do you find your rest? That's my question.
What an amazing question, because I've been exposed to so many successful people, older people. I've dated very successful guys, and when I saw how miserable some of them are, even though they can literally buy 5 Rolls Royces right now.
Yeah.
They can charter a private plane and fly to like Japan, you know, like they can do anything. But you would look at them and be like, dude, why are you so miserable? Like, why are you unhappy? Because when you have power and that consumes you, and that desire to own more and more and more money, more stuff, more diamonds, more watches. My mom once said, you will die one day, and what are you gonna do with all that stuff?
Yeah.
That literally doesn't matter.
It's just stuff. It's
gonna stay here.
It's gonna stay on the earth.
So the only thing that, also my mom said, the only thing that makes you happy is relationships. Relationships. They give you emotions, they give you memories, they give you life. Like, this can make you so much happier than going and buying a bag. Yes, of course. Like, who doesn't want to live a luxurious life?
But let's think about it. Like, we could be doing this and having these deep, nice friend, like, warm-hearted conversations, or you could be going out alone, buying a bag, and then coming back home. Okay, and now you're just alone with a bag.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like also so many girls are dying to marry rich or date rich, but at the end of the day, I mean, been there, done that.
Everyone goes through their phases.
But I've never been married, but I've dated.
Yeah.
When people ask me like, "What's your type?" I say billionaires.
I love it.
Well, it's just happened that I've only dated billionaires, but the thing is that you can have all of that. You can have black Amex, you can fly private, like, and you will only understand that after you go through that, because people who never experienced that, they desperately want that because they think that that's what's gonna bring you happiness. Like all these people who are super rich and they tell you like, oh, money is not gonna make you happy, like this all doesn't matter, I don't care. They're lying to you. No, money does make you happy. Money does give you freedom, but at the same time, it doesn't fulfill
your heart.
Doesn't fulfill your heart, doesn't give you the real happiness. It can give you tools.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. Because I can relate to this because I see this all the time, and it's like, don't be materialistic and money isn't everything. Don't put money first. Of course, don't put money first. That shouldn't be like your number one thought to this whole life. But like being able, like, I'm so sick of everyone being like, no, like money, like it's okay, like I'm fine, like I don't need money, or I don't need to work this job, or like I'm content with who I am and like where I am, and like that's fine maybe if that's like what you want, but then there's no more complaining after that. If that's what you want, then that's what you want. But like if you are going to complain about like what you don't have, like then you should reach those goals and you should work hard to get there. But that shouldn't be what your heart needs. But if you need something like physically or mentally, then you should work towards that. Like, don't you hear that a lot of people just being like...
But I also hate when people start monetizing God. You know, when they're like, close their eyes and they call this a prayer. God, please give me money. God, please give me millions of dollars. God,
like
please
blasphemous.
give me half of New York real estate. And then God doesn't give them that. And they're like, I don't believe in God. That's so stupid. Like,
I can't even, like,
it's so stupid. And
God isn't the genie in the bottle. Let's just put it right there.
Exactly.
He's not.
But like,
no. And I just think like God is, like you just said, what's going to make you happy is a relationship. God is a relationship. I believe that I'm part of a relationship, not a religion. Like, yes, Christianity is a religion, but I have a relationship with Jesus. Like, and that is what fulfills me. I'm not praying before I go to bed, like, please, Lord, like I pray that I get this job and I get all this money and that I can be like fine with like my career in 5 years. Like, no, those aren't the prayers. Like, the prayers are, please give me the strength to get through this day. Please give me the positivity to spread this next week so that I can open more opportunity for myself. Like, you have to, like, God isn't just like, God, please give me this. This is what I want. God isn't going to give you right now. I'm going to be 100% honest. He's never going to give you what you want. He's going to give you what you need. Mm-hmm. And if you ask for what you want, you're not going to receive it.
He's not going to give you what you want. He's going to give you what you need. Wow.
I'm just saying.
Wow. That's very powerful.
It's so true. It's so true. And I think it's hard because a lot of people who maybe try to start a relationship with God, like, that's the first thing they're looking for. They're like, you know what, God, if you're real, heal my mom.
Exactly.
Heal my mom from cancer. Help my family. They're struggling. Like, help them. Fine, help them then. If you can't help them, then I don't believe in you. No, like, form a relationship with him. He wants to love you and he wants you to love him. Like, that's all it is. Like, he wants you to be happy, but you need to find that happiness within him and not these like materialistic things and not these actions. Like, he's never ever going to give you what you want, like, ever. and eventually, like, he will show you what your needs are through your goals, and he'll be like, you know what, this was my plan for you to reach this point in your life, and like, we did it, but like, we did it together. You're not doing anything on your own. You're never ever ever alone. He's always there helping you every step of the way. And even if you don't believe, like, it's just so nice to have faith, to have hope in something, like something bigger than you. It's just, if you believe that you are your own,
God.
You are the God, or some human is the God, or some object is the God,
That's when you start to struggle.
That's when you start to struggle.
And you touched a little bit on the subject of God. Can you please walk us through, like, how in such young age you have such strong faith? What helped you to get there? How did you start? How did you, because you read the Bible like almost every day, right?
Yes, I try to.
How did you get to that point?
I think my faith started because I grew up in a Christian household. So I have really great parents who are really grounded in their faith, and they taught me about Jesus and God and like where the truth lies and what are you supposed to look for in this big world. There's so many things to look for. Like, what is the one solid thing that will never ever change? And for me, that is God. That is Jesus, my Savior. So I think that growing up like that, I already had that kind of mentality, which I was really blessed to have parents that taught me that as I was so young. But I mean, they were never forcing me into it. They weren't forcing me to go to church. I was never forced to go to after church school, like nothing like that. I think I kind of lost it in my early teen years, and I didn't even realize I lost it. I just started getting like really sad. I started falling into a lot of bad things like any teenager's gonna do, you know? And I think I just had to take a step back, which happened just a couple years ago, and it was just like, this isn't who I am. This isn't who I wanna be. I'm sad. Like, why am I sad? I live a great life, and why am I sad? Like, that's weird. So then I had to think, okay, well, like I had to go back to my roots. Like, what do I know? Oh, okay, I know that I can talk to God. Okay, let's try that. Let's try talking to God. And I did. I talked to God, and I saw a difference in my mind. I saw a difference in my heart. I started going to church, and I started enjoying church. I enjoyed meeting new people and like singing the worship songs. Like, just from talking to him and praying, like, opened my heart. It like filled that void that I was looking for so long. And I just think that it's so important to carry that through this industry and through what I do, because again, it's really lonely, and I always have a rock. There's always something to go back to. Like, yes, I have my parents and I have my friends and I have social media and I have money and I live a good life, but those things change. Like, no matter what, you're gonna argue with your parents. Your friends are gonna suck some days, and you're not gonna be able to go to your friends. I mean, you have your partner, you have a guy. Oh, you broke up with your guy. He cheated on you. Like, things happen. But something that always stays the same is God for me. I can always go back to him. He always forgives me for what I've done. He open arms every time. Like,
he always watches.
Oh my gosh, always watches. He already knows. He already has a plan. He already knows what I'm doing before I'm even doing it. So to be able to just like go back to him and be like, I need you right now. I see it. Like, when I say I need you right now and I talk to him and I pray to him and ask for his help, I see it. I receive it. And sometimes you can go to a friend or you can go to your family and be like, I need help, and you won't see it because they're human. But God is God. He's the creator. Like, that's
so
why.
Beautiful.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
I know, it is really, it's very cool. It's so cool. And that's why I love social media, because it's like, finally, now that I know like who I am with God and I have this platform, it's such an inspiration to be like, wait, I get to share this. Like, I have all these followers. Like, I get to talk about this. Like, it's so cool. And then seeing all the positive comments of like, I needed this today. Or just like, wow, this really inspired me. Even people who aren't religious, like, it's just a positive light. God is a light. To me, he is a light. Like, even people who don't believe, when they come across a video, they feel a little bit lighter because there's nothing negative about it. And I think that that's just like
100%.
the biggest thing for me.
That is so beautiful. And like at 18 years old, to think this way and to have that kind of brain, it's so beautiful, and you're just gonna keep growing, I'm sure. But I personally think that there's a very thin line between like faith that consumes you, right? That like makes you a little bit of a victim, and faith that is you describing, like a beautiful, you know, like a rock that grounds you. How do you not, you know, go to that side? You know, like those people that come up to me on the streets and they're like, do you want to go read the Bible? Or like, do you want to, like, some crazy fanatic type of people? Like, how do you not
become that, or just
that?
like,
Yeah.
I think you can't force Christianity, you can't force God on anyone. No matter what, everybody is gonna do, like, I can go to you and be like, hey, I need advice on this, but in the end, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do what I wanna do. That's just what we do as humans, unfortunately. And so I think that when I share my faith, I want to make sure I'm sharing it. I'm not saying, if you don't do this, you're going to hell. Like, if you don't do this, this is where you're gonna be. Like, if you word it like that, everyone's gonna be like, whoa, no, I don't want anything to do with that, because that automatically has something negative in the sentence. So I think these people that come up on the streets are holding these signs like, Jesus, Jesus, or like throwing it in your face, or being like, read the Bible, like, here's the Bible. It's too much. You have to come at it from a loving and caring and kind, gentle angle. Like, Jesus was so gentle. It says that in the Bible. It says how gentle and careful he was. Like, he was so strong, and he didn't care when people were like, oh no, like, people rejected him as well. Like, people were like, no, I don't want anything to do with God or your faith, and we don't know if you're the Messiah, blah, blah, blah. He just was like, okay, and then moved on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he moved on to the next person, or he proved it by literally making miracles. But he wasn't like, if you don't do this, he wasn't like laughing in these people's faces and being like, oh, you don't even know what's coming for you. Like, he was so gentle. It's all about the way that you present your faith and present God into people's lives, because like, you have to treat people that aren't religious as a child. Like, you have to come to them like at an angle of a 5-year-old. You can't just like speak to a 5-year-old like, this is what you need to do. Like, this is God, and he is the right way. He is the only way. This 5-year-old is going to start crying. He's going to be like, what is this? I don't want anything to do with that. That sounds scary. You have to come at it like, this is what I believe, and this is why I believe it. And this is how it's changed my life. This is how it has formed me as a person. And I hope you can feel like that too someday. Like, I want that for you. But maybe that's not what you want, but this is how I feel, and I would feel sad if I didn't share it with you. So I just want to share it. Like, that's how you have to come at it with. You know, you can't force anyone to believe anything. So
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love what you're saying, and it really reciprocates for sure.
Yeah.
When you see people your age like hanging out, and I hate this word situationship. I'm a Slavic
It's
girl.
bad. It's bad.
I don't
It's
freaking believe in that. It's like, if you want to be with me, be with me. If you don't want to be with me, just like go find someone else who's going to be open for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Situationships are so bad.
Yeah, literally, like, how do you look at all these guys that are like ghosting us and like not really showing, you know, enough attention? Like, how do you go through those situations? What is your perspective on like men that are not putting enough effort?
I mean, those are things I'm still learning from today. I think it's really easy to get caught up in somebody and to just be like, oh, you know, like, we're having fun, we're just hanging out, like, or we're talking, and like, maybe we're not ready to commit to each other. It depends on how this person is affecting you. If this person is a light in your world and you can go to them and talk to them like a friend, and they are a caring and loving person, and maybe you guys just aren't ready to do the whole boyfriend, girlfriend, this is it, I think that's okay. I think calling it a situationship is when it doesn't get okay, because situationships are toxic. I think it needs to be like, if I care about this person cares about me, and I can go to that person and like share loving thoughts together, like, that's fine. That's great. And if you guys don't want to have a relationship right now, okay, that's fine. I think you can have those kinds of people in your life that you still like maybe you're attracted to them and you like. It gets bad when this person is going off and doing things with other girls, and you're over there doing things with other boys, and you're just like back and forth, just like, I don't want you doing this, and wait, but I don't want you doing this. That's when it gets toxic. It's like, no, if you're not gonna date, then you're still living separate lives. Until you guys are dating, I'm not saying like, if you're talking to someone and you care about this person, you shouldn't be like doing crazy things. Like, if you care about someone, you should commit to them and care about them. I think that's a different situation. But carrying on with the relationship in a positive light. If at any point of talking to this person you feel like negative energy and negative anxiety, then like it should be clear that you shouldn't be with this person, and then then the talking stage should probably just fade away, because then it's like, oh shoot, if I'm feeling like this, then I probably don't want to feel like this when I'm dating them, right? So then, I mean, sometimes the talking stage is a good trial and error, you know? Like sometimes you have to talk to a person and like get to know them, go on a few dates, hang out, to figure out who they are. Like everyone has to go through that, and like to talk to them and hang out, like you have to go through that like month period of just like talking before you guys date, because you need to know who this person is and how you guys are going to communicate. And if they don't communicate well, then it's like, okay, then it's probably not somebody that I should date, I think. But the word situationship just gets really messy.
And at the end of the day, you know, you want to be with a partner, not the person who is above you or below you or who makes you feel below. You want someone with who you can open your full potential. How beautiful that is. And I see those couples, they're very rare. But when you see a woman in a marriage that is not limited, she's only blooming and growing because her husband supports her ideas, her potential, her personality, her creativity. It's so beautiful. And by doing that, a woman gives energy back to her man to flourish, to like grow even more. You know, it's like this
it's an endless circle of love. Yeah, no, of course.
It's so beautiful to see that. I'd rather wait, I don't know how many years, I'd rather wait and get that than date and
just continue to get hurt. Of course.
Yeah,
that's always the
year.
better decision.
That's awesome. I was thinking about it a few weeks ago. Who the God is for me, a woman or a man? I don't know why. I just started thinking about this question, like, because I normally, since I was a kid, in my head, I realized that it's a man, like Jesus, right? So whenever, if you think about it, right, whenever you think or believe that the God is a man, you start seeing or treating men, or you start seeing God in men. Does that make sense? So like my dad, I treat him close to God.
Like you treat him as maybe a leader?
Yes,
leader in your life?
But whenever I switch my head and I'm like, oh no, what if God is a woman? Then women become more powerful in my eyes. You know what I mean?
I think
for you, who God is for you?
Okay, so
like what? Does he have a gender for you?
For me, no. Like I think we call God he, and Jesus was male. Jesus was a male specimen. But for me, we call God he just because it's because Jesus was he. Like, this is my mind. Honestly, I don't know. Like, this isn't 100% biblical. Like, honestly, if I'm looking back on it, I see God as a being of sorts. I see God as God. Like, when I'm writing to him, I'm like, okay, he, like I'll use he and I'll use a capital H, like, because that's like the respectful thing to do, and that is who I see him as. But if you mark God as a gender, as a woman or a man, you're limiting him. You're automatically saying, okay, God, you are a male, or you are, like, no, God has no limits. God isn't a male or a female. He is higher than that. He is higher than any mammal. He is higher than any animal, than any man or woman. Like, he is a being. You cannot limit God to a he or she.
So that's what I should work on.
It's both. God is both. Like, in the end, because he created both. And it says this in the Bible, we have God inside of us. We have God inside of us, each and every one of us. And when people feel a hole in their hearts, it's God, because they haven't filled that hole with God yet. They haven't filled it with like the Spirit of Christ. And it says that, it talks about that in the Bible. And I think that that's why you can't limit God to being a he or she, because every male and female has God inside of them. So it is a being. You cannot limit him to that. It's a hard question. It really is. And honestly, like, I don't think there's like a right or wrong answer. So I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, you can't just like
I agree.
limit God to being a woman or a man.
We're so lucky to be so young and to
like
so
understand these things.
And like, I think it's a gift. It's a true gift, because there's so many people who get to like 40, 50 years old and they're still not aware. They're still not conscious.
Or they're just like confused and they don't know what to think.
Okay, Abby, this was such a healing, beautiful conversation. I
Agreed.
truly enjoyed it. I don't know how many
These are like my
hours.
favorite conversations to have.
Yeah, like I don't know the time. I literally forgot
know.
about the time.
Me too.
But it was so beautiful to have you here. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
Please tell everyone how to find you. What are your socials? Where to?
On TikTok, I'm Abigail Bovin, and then on Instagram, Abby Lee Bovin. And
Amazing.
yes, that's everything.
That's amazing. Thank you so much again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. Everyone who stayed till the end, we love you. And we'll see you guys in the next video. And remember, today is your day.